I do think we're close to a point where if we focus on the sustainability part, if we focus on the scaling part, if we take this technology on an international level and bring it to each country with the new set of builders that will meet every step of the way, it will reach a point where it becomes unstoppable. And the whole idea can perhaps be summarized to accumulating efforts that eventually lead to a tipping point.
So, there was so much information to digest from the newest MultiversX town hall meeting hosted by Beniamin Mincu. So we've decided to make a video to summarize it all just for you. So the live stream started with recounting the MultiversX transformation and the transformation of their products that began at X Day 2022 in Paris. Now you may have noticed, Beniamin also used the word supercomputer to refer to the MultiversX network. A supercomputer with zero downtime so far since the mainnet in 2018, and on top of which amazing teams and startups are building every single day. Let us know what you think in the comments section below, but just that alone is insanely impressive. So this was a common theme and emphasized many times during the live stream, that it's not just about what MultiversX is building on top of the protocol, but also about the products being built by amazing projects from the ecosystem. Or as Beniamin would say, ecosystem. But hey, tomatoes, tomatoes, huh?
Imagine how Ross would feel if he couldn't teach us about dragons. Dinosaurs. Potato, potato.
Beniamin also recounted the awesome partnerships still blooming behind the scenes, such as partnerships with Tencent Cloud, Binance, Ledger, Oprah. That's Oprah the browser, not Oprah Winfrey. Although, hey, who knows, maybe one day. And some exciting news about xExchange. New features and improvements are in the pipeline for it, some of which were tested on Twitter. These features will enable MultiversX to bring more liquidity to the exchange, will enable liquidity providers to use the platform in a way which is even easier and more efficient than before, and will bring new incentives that will benefit the different stakeholders taking part in xExchange. Hey, somebody said more liquidity to MultiversX? Take it from me, that's an offer I can't refuse. Very true, the liquidity aspect, very appealing. But with all of these and the cohesive suite of X products, especially xPortal, Beniamin says it's time to move on to the next step. And this next step is scaling, a new hyper-growth phase. And here is where we get a lot of exciting and very clear answers. Let's start with the technical foundation. Exciting protocol updates are on the pipeline, which will greatly improve the tech and composability of the MultiversX supercomputer. That's right, supercomputer. The first one is Altair, which will bring guardians, social recovery, and several really important improvements. The second one will be Proxima Centauri, which will bring sovereign shards, also known as sovereign chains, in alpha. Now, if we've just lost you there for a moment, don't worry, because we're not speaking another language.
Just repeat after me. Je m'appelle Claude.
Je découpe plow.
The idea will be to start with several close partners to test and integrate them to improve them and get them ready for the large-scale launch. The Cyrus upgrade will follow, which will bring several new features. We've not too much info on this yet, but that is to come. Then Vega will follow, which will very likely bring the staking phase 4 upgrade. Now here's the deal for you. If you would like us to explain staking phase 4 in a future video, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel, and we'll make an awesome video on staking phase 4 and how you can really benefit from it.
Then Andromeda will probably be one of the upgrades that will bring sovereign chains and sovereign shards as an almost new galaxy that will expand the utility, the adoption, and the usage of the network in a way that's unparalleled with perhaps any application that has been bringing these effects up until that point.
All of this will be explained in more detail in a written document that MultiversX is preparing for the end of this week or the start of the next one. But do bear in mind, things may still evolve and change, but it's always important to have a guiding principle. Moving on to the roadmap for this year. The roadmap so far for the launch and transformation of the MultiversX products has been on point. But now, as MultiversX enters the strategic scaling phase, some recalibrations need to be made. First, X Launchpad and X Money updates. The launch day for X Launchpad may be closer than previously announced, with Beniamin saying that the month of April could be the month, which brings it forward from May 16th, which was the original tentative date. As for X Money, a new date has not been set, but Beniamin informed us that the update about the unification of TwistPay and UTrust into X Money will be coming in April. Next, we have info on X Fabric. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, there will be an announcement with the specific launch date of X Fabric. The team is still considering whether it will launch the product in April, the 26th of April being the original tentative date, or if it will be moved to May. Nevertheless, it will have a phased launch with strategic partners and builders within the community in the beginning. And before we talk about X Worlds, we must talk about xPortal.
The next important milestone that we'll probably explore together will be a growth phase with xPortal. As I've said, we've spent a lot of time, a lot of energy in creating this interface that simplifies the interaction, that brings everything that we've built together, and that also creates a space like an app store within the app where countless new applications can be shared, can be presented, can be discovered. With this application, we believe we'll be able to scale to millions and tens of millions of users during the next immediate period, during the next years. We intend to scale much beyond that number, but reaching a scale of, for instance, 10 million users is a very important and strategic milestone that we're focusing with the xPortal application. And I believe that during the next month or two, we're going to see a new and sustained growth, communication, and marketing campaign that will leverage the xPortal app and share this with the world. It will be across several countries, taking different countries one step at a time, iterating, testing, learning, refining, and then shipping new features and new upgrades to the application in a way that will improve people's lives even further. One point that I will stress here is during the next weeks, we'll also try to discover from the community what the most interesting, exciting, and loved features of the app really are. So if you've been thinking a lot about the app, about how it can be improved, about different features that you believe would completely change the either experience or utility or benefits of the applications, we're super curious to hear them and super curious to see how things could be improved.
As MultiversX enters a new growth phase, so does xPortal. So as xPortal will be introduced to the world alongside exciting new features, work for the X World's first glimpse will continue in the background. So the date has been moved from Q3 to Q4 this year. But we can't stress this enough. X Worlds is a very big deal for MultiversX and the whole community. So it does make sense that it has to be done right. Maturing xPortal first, adding exciting new features, ironing it out, and introducing it to the world, bringing new users in, seems the right steps to make before X Worlds. Now, there's actually a whole world tour that MultiversX is preparing. But before we get into that, another new platform that is in the works was mentioned, a learning platform.
Now, one thing that we've not discussed about publicly, we know how important and how relevant learning really is for the community, for the developers, for the different builders. And we put a lot of thought and effort into a new type of platform that could provide a learning experience for each of the different products that we're going to unveil. Whether you're a developer and just want to learn how you should start and where you should start and what's the simplest and fastest route to getting started and getting your first app ready. That's what you'll be able to learn. Whether you're just a validator and want to set up a node and start staking and so forth, that's what you'll be able to learn. And whether you're just a builder within the NFT space that wants to bootstrap a project and bring it to life with a community of excited explorers, you'll be able to also learn that. So I believe that during the next 2 to 4 weeks, we'll also have an update specifically on a time frame for this learning platform. Perhaps there might be a tentative time frame by the end of the week. If we manage to present the document, hopefully either by Friday or on Monday, we'll have that version.
And as this was the theme throughout the live stream, Beniamin mentioned that this new growth phase, this expansion to the power of X, is not just about MultiversX. It's a series of updates and milestones that awesome projects from the ecosystem are bringing as well. It's not just the MultiversX roadmap, it's the master roadmap.
And so updates from Holoride, updates from Hatem, updates from ZoidPay, from Xoxno, Human Protocol, Black Hat Network, Cantina Royale, AshSwap, QWatt, Swing, CoinDrip, xExchange, or Cyberpunk are new updates that will showcase and that will integrate in this master roadmap with exciting milestones, such that everything that's coming is not only rested on the protocol, not only rested on some of the core products that are coming, but then also very, very excitingly positioned within the ecosystem with many, many new startups that are building on MultiversX.
Beniamin then continues to shout out projects that have made big efforts to build and bring value to the ecosystem, such as XSafe, 11 Tools, X Network, just to name a few in the dev space, and Drifters, Aquaverse, Cow, just to name a few in the NFT space. Now, let's talk about the Global Outreach Tour, a series of events across the world where each month, starting with this month, MultiversX will host or take part in events across the world. MultiversX first goes to Paris, France during the Paris Blockchain Week, where they will host their own dedicated event. Next one will be in Barcelona at the WASM IO conference. Then in Romania, in several towns such as Craiova, Bucharest, and Cluj. Then at the Web3 Festival in Hong Kong. Then back to Romania for some exciting things with the Bucharest University. Then to the US at the Consensus in Austin, Texas. Then Bucharest again for an event with Ichi Bucharest. When they said they were going on a worldwide tour, they weren't joking. Then of course over to Milan, Italy, then Berlin, Germany. But that's not all. In June or July, MultiversX will host the biggest hackathon to date. And of course, finally, X Day 2023. The entire roadmap set of milestones from MultiversX and the whole community, the Global Outreach Tour, which eventually leads to the hackathon. They're all essentially led to the new X Day event. So as you can see, this will be an intense year for MultiversX, to say the least. But let me tell you this is our year. Right now, no matter where you are in the world, you watching this very video and watching everything unfold with MultiversX, you are witnessing history in the making. Now, we'll leave you with the Q&A from the end of the live stream. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and of course, subscribe to our channel. Become a member if you want to show extra support to us, and of course, you must know that we really appreciate every angle of support, every like, every subscriber, and of course those of you on Twitter who like and share our videos, all of you guys, we do notice and we really do appreciate it. It means the world, so thank you.
First question is, Benny, I didn't hear you talking about use cases involving governments on MultiversX. I want to see you making a pilot program for a smarter city where people can use a token to do everything. This is a great point, and we've in fact had several strategic conversations with several governments that are interested and excited about this technology. And the key point here that we've discovered is that with these large institutions, it is extremely important to have tools that makes things very simple, that such projects can die the death of 1,000 cuts if things are, let's say, started, but they cannot be taken to their natural conclusions. So we have several conversations. We are putting a lot of effort in the idea of thinking about what it would mean to build a new city, what it would mean to have very advanced technologies interconnected, and what it would mean to have this built with MultiversX technology. As soon as we have a concrete update on this, we'll definitely share. But I can say at this point that we're having several conversations that are interesting and exciting. But I want to leave them the space to bloom and transform into something practical that is happening before I announce something. The key point here is probably the following. We have a discussion beyond the MultiversX bridge that is live and moving forward and expanding. We have a discussion with two of the largest bridges within the blockchain ecosystem that would enable tens of network integrations at the same time if MultiversX would be connected there. We've been having several conversations for some time. Like, this conversation has not begun now. Rather, it has been in the works for more than 6 months. But I believe we're now very close to a point where a conclusion will be reached. As soon as we have that, the entire DeFi space and the entire liquidity that we have on chain will probably be transformed, just because you'll be able to bridge even faster from tens of new or different networks beyond what we have right now. Even in our bridge, in the bridge that has been built within the ecosystem, there are several new integrations that are in place and coming up. But as soon as we'll integrate some of the largest bridges out there, we believe that liquidity and transfers from other chains will become a lot simpler, a lot more effective, a lot more inexpensive. And at the end of the day, the MultiversX ecosystem will benefit tremendously. The key point that we've been trying to do for years now is set in place a robust and solid foundation that is both compliant with all the important rules and regulations within an ecosystem where we're existing, but then also engage in thoughtful and productive conversations with the regulators to understand some of their concerns, to address some of their concerns, and even to find productive solutions that enable us to be one step ahead in terms of what we could do to prepare for such regulations. It has been surprising and concerning to see what has been happening in the US recently. And it's unfortunate in some sense that this all is happening. I'm happy to see that Europe is in this sense in a much, much better position. And I hope things will not change on this front. On the other hand, I expect change to come, and we're here to observe, prepare, and make sure that we're one step ahead whenever something like this is thought of, discussed, and proposed. We usually hear about it, get a chance to prepare for it, and also get the chance to suggest feedback, and have some discussions. So we appreciate every thoughtful conversation on this regulatory side, and believe that with each positive and productive step that we'll be able to do on the product side, on the community side, on the ecosystem side, with the different startups that integrate the technology, each of them will be a new and more strong argument toward the regulators whenever we want to have a conversation toward the positive impact that blockchain technology and especially MultiversX can bring. The progress on the cards has been good. We're pushing forward with the entire team to make things happen. We've seen some very, very exciting things being tested, and I sure hope that during the next month, hopefully we'll have a new update on this, specifically on some time frame, specifically on the first wave of people getting a notification or an update on what's next to be done. We're now very close to reaching a first conclusion, and then as soon as we have this first conclusion, we'll probably have a timeline. All this with the card is super exciting, and believe me when I say that I'll be the first to share this with you, with our entire community, as soon as things are ready. And progress has been, despite obstacles, despite challenges, still very very productive. So I'm quite happy to see that things are moving forward.